What's going on? IBG or Coach Houston Tyrants is back for my Week 3 team builder against Renegade, coach the Chicago Bulus. This battle I'm really looking forward to. It's someone who I haven't faced ever at all, so it's my first time battling him, in other words. And it's going to be real hard to play against him because I don't know his battle style. I've never seen him battle, aside from the replays that I've seen him in. And judging from what I've seen, he's actually a pretty good battler. So I'll at this time I'm recording, I don't know if he has a channel, but hopefully if he does, go check him out because I know he's a good battler. I look at his team. His team is really balanced. I would say better than mine, but you may never know what could happen in the battle. Here he has Tapu, Fini, Mega Venusaur, and Latios in OU, Weavile, Darmanitan, and Bewear in UU, Donphan, Doublade, and Heliolisk in RU, and then Armaldo, Lickilicky, and Drifblim in NU. Now it seems a whole lot of balance, and even his lower tier mons, especially like the NU, could definitely put in work with the right setup, and it's definitely hard to prep against him. Now here's my team. Starting off, we have Forecast, the Thundersteerin. I decided to run Choice Scarf because I wanted to outspeed something and have some sort of fast Pokemon that will do a whole lot of damage. Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Flying. My main form of stab moves. Hits very well much a lot of his team. Focus Blast I have for Weavile and Bewear to do a lot of damage. I definitely could go for Hidden Power Flying on the Bewear, but Focus Blast is there. I also have it for Heliolisk since I don't have a way to touch it to hit it better, and I also have it for Lickilicky. It won't do a lot because Lickilicky is very bulky, but still damage, and that's all you can ask for. And then I have U-Turn, which is definitely good against Latios, especially if it's maybe Specs, and I don't have a good way of knocking it out, so I could U-turn out into maybe crit Alolan Muck and then take that damage off of him. Or if he goes like a Psychic, I can switch it into Alolan Muck and it'll negate the damage. And U-turn is also good for Weavile because I doubt he'll being Scarf. I outspeed and I do a lot of damage with that U-turn. Next up we have Extensions, the Mega Blastoise. I decided to run the exact same set as I did with Lantern. Scald, Ice Beam, War Spear, and Miracle. Scald I absolutely love because it's stab. It has a chance to burn one of its physical Pokemon and break down his offensive pressure. Ice Beam, a good coverage move to have, especially for that Latios that he has. And it also hits the Drifblim very hard. And I have Aura Sphere as another coverage move for Weavile and for Bewear. If I don't want to deal with it and just like burn it, instead I want to knock it out, I could just go for Aura Sphere on those two Pokemon. I also have Aura Sphere for that Heliolisk and the Lickilicky. I know that Aura Sphere and Mega Launcher will do a lot to Lickilicky, so that's why I packed it in. And then Miracle, I noticed that his Tapu Fini, I don't have a check for it as much as Forecast for offensive pressure and maybe Alolan Muck, but Alolan Muck will be taking a bunch of the special attacking damage, and then Disco Kid will be him on top will taking the physical defensive. So I have Miracle for the special defensive, so maybe if he decides to use Draco with Latios or maybe a Moonblast with Tapu Fini that boosts him in the misty terrain, then maybe I could hit back with Miracle and it'll be able to knock him out. Or at least do a lot of damage. Next up we have Sacred, the Entei, Choice Banded with its ability, pressure that it always has. And then I have Flare to Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, and Stone Edge. This is basically the standard set. And I did run Adamant, and I noticed that Choice Banded Entei does at least half to any sort of his Pokemon with at least one of these moves, except for maybe Tapu Fini. But I did have this coverage moves. Flavorless, Sacred Fire, your main form of stab, does a lot of damage throughout his whole team. Extreme Seed, Priority is definitely good to have, especially in League format battles. And Stone Edge is a good coverage move, especially for like Weavile, Darmanitan that outspeed me, or damage on Drifblim, maybe it'd be defensive, or the Armaldo. Next up we have Crazy Art, Alolan Muck, Assault Vested, the exact same set I ran against Lantern, but this does a whole lot. This does put in work against him. Knockoff and Poison Jab, my main force stab, does well, like probably around his whole team. Knockoff I love to carry because it's good to knock an item off or sorry, Pokemon. Let's say it runs like Specs or Scarf Latios, and I get that knockoff. It does a lot of damage and may not knock him out, but that item is knocked off so where he won't either do a lot of damage or he won't be able to outspeed a certain mon, like maybe Forecast since it's also Scarfed. I do have Big Break mainly for the Weavile, the Bewear, the Lickilicky as well. And I do have Shadow Sneak for priority because you can never go wrong with priority in any sense of draft league. Next up, we have Disco Kid to Hitmontop. I did run leftovers for this thing. It's the exact same set for last fall, except I swapped Toxic for Sucker Punch. Close Combat, Mach Punch, definitely good stab moves to have. Sucker Punch, I have to hit Drifblim in case he has the Unburden set, and I need a faster way to knock it out. I could just go for the Sucker Punch and do a lot of damage. The Rapid Spin, I have for hazards. If he decides to pack it with his Donphan or his Armaldo, or even just for a small thing like Leech Seed on his Mega Venusaur. And then finally, I have this Pokemon here, brand new to the team, and I decided to bring him mainly because I had 5 Pokemon and I also didn't know what to put on this team. And I noticed that I was missing some hazards on this team. I didn't want to bring Garchomp because I know it gets Stealth Rocks, but a bunch of his team goes through it. And Aggron, I know it can take a hit and then still set up Stealth Rocks. Well, introducing, we have Titanium, the Aggron. She will be setting up the rocks for her team. I do have Chopu Berry because fighting attacks are definitely hazardous against Aggron. Earthquake also could be hazardous against Aggron, but I'm most likely expected to see like a fighting move on his Weavile, his Darmanitan, especially his Bewear or maybe something else on his team that could carry it. Unexpected move or fighting move that you probably never see. He might carry Earthquake on the Mega Venusaur just because I do have like Entei and Alola Muck, and that could be for Aggron. But I know I'll be able to take a Earthquake better than I would be able to take like a Close Combat, a Superpower, or a Hammer Arm, or especially a Low Kick, since that will do more to Aggron than whatever an Earthquake would do. I did run Rockhead because I did want damage on the Tapu Fini or the Mega Venusaur with that Head Smash, and I didn't want to take Recoil. And I know that Aggron can take a hit, especially well to where it won't have to use Sturdy. I did pack Head Smash mainly for that Tapu Fini. I believe it do like 30, so after rocks it'll leave it at half, and then I could swap into something else and then do damage on it later. I did pack Earthquake as my coverage move, mainly for that Heliolisk, the Darmanitan. Those are 2 different threats that I don't know how to deal with, but with Earthquake I'll be able to deal with it a whole lot better because Earthquake will knock it out. I don't have to worry about hitting a Head Smash on the Darmanitan. And with Earthquake for Heliolisk, it's a bit better way to knock it out in case with like Choice Specs. And Stealth Rocks, like I said before, hurts his team a whole lot and definitely puts me at a better advantage because if he decides to not bring Donphan, doesn't have Armaldo, if he decides to not have a way to get rid of it, because he has Tapu Fini and Latios with Defog and Armaldo and Donphan with Rapid Spin. Those are real reasons why it's hard to beat him, but I do have Stealth Rocks, which will help me out a little bit, and it's a little bit of chip damage to where his team will get whittled down by maybe a Banded move from Entei or Scarf Thunder Steer with that high special attack that it has. So it's definitely a good idea for me to bring Aggron just for chip damage with that Stealth Rocks, and maybe just a couple of moves to hit. Well, that's going to be it for the Team Builder. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you all in the post-commentary match. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.